I know YouTube doesn't like people talking about this kind of stuff, but as somebody who's very passionate about this, right now it feels like the time to talk about this. And if you don't like it, then I don't know, man. Hey guys, it's your girl Cameron, and I'm back at it again with another video. So by the title, you guys can tell today we're going to be tackling a topic that I'm pretty passionate about. Basically, love us as much as you love our culture, and we'll get into what that means, right? This is something that I feel like is appropriate to talk about in a specific video, being the time that we live in, particularly at this moment right now, because of the Black Lives Matter movement. We're really talking about police brutality. We're talking about dismantling systemic racism that has existed since our founding of this nation, since slaves were brought over here, since my ancestors were brought over here from a lot of people, especially allies, right? This video is not to attack. I understand that a lot of racism and a lot of the ways that racism persists is systemic. So a lot of the times you don't necessarily realize that you are participating in it. So this video is really to inform, educate, to add perspective. I see a lot of allies. I appreciate a lot of the allies. I have friends who want to do better, who want to know more. And instead of criticizing and critiquing in the comments, please, I'm going to be as respectful as I possibly can, but do not disinvalidate my experience or my feelings as a Black person living in this country, because until you are that, you don't understand what it is. Speaking from my heart, feeling like I need to get this off my chest because it is something that has bothered me for too long. Please like, again, comment down below and hit that sub button for more content. Thank you guys so much for watching. And without further ado, let's just get straight into the video. This topic can be a little dicey. Honestly, anything on YouTube involving race, gender, anything that's controversial, you know, is it not really accepted on this platform, but it's my platform and I feel like I want to speak. Time and time again that comes up when things like police brutality happen is, I wish you guys would love us as much as you love our culture. I'm back with a better, more informed way of saying this. I've kind of put my thoughts together, but I noticed in this country that obviously America is a melting pot. So many cultures, religions, ethnicities, races, and I love that. It's beautiful. But I think a lot of the times, and I'm speaking as a Black person, first off, we're mistaken for not having a culture, but also in this country, our culture has a history of being stolen. And this goes across music, art, invention, anything that you can. And I'm not saying that Black people created everything, but a lot of the things that we have created have been stolen or mistaken for something else. And our culture is often disrespected, but heavily participated in. So the first thing I'm going to say when talking about this, I'm not saying that if you are not Black, that you cannot participate or enjoy Black culture. I mean, it's impossible not to. Think about hip hop and rap music. Think about R&B, right? Think of all the, yes, Black social dances. People laughed at me for saying that, but yes, okay? People partake in it. You see it all over TikTok, which I've been very critical of. You see it all over social media. And the thing is there's no problem in participating in it, but a lot of the times you see Black faces and Black bodies being pushed out of the conversations, while particularly white people tend to get fame or recognition for it. For example, you guys all know Jalaya, and there's a lot of TikTok creators who have come out with dances that their dances have basically been hijacked and throughout all of TikTok, and they have not received any credit. But of course, if you go to your For You page or if you go to the tag, white content creators tend to popularize it and be the face of that dance, right? And I'm not saying it's necessarily the fault of the content creators who see this, because on social media, things spread like wildfire. Culture spreads like wildfire. But if you guys see, it's a bigger system. And I hope that's what a lot of these conversations are getting you to understand. It's not one singular person pulling the strings, right? It's a collective. And the more that we're aware of these things, the more that we can be like, hey, let me do my research. Let me give this credit. Let me educate myself. And another thing as well, guys, and I will put this on the screen. This is a post that I saw that kind of had me thinking about a lot of the things that Black people have contributed to music. And there's a history of Black artists creating a song, right? And white artists taking it, stealing it for their own. But as an artist, I'm a dancer particularly, and I'm a music lover. I'm very passionate about this section and sector of where racism finds itself. Because as a dancer myself, I've also recognized being Black. I did ballet for a very long time, pretty seriously, and I always kind of found myself to feel inferior and feel like that I always had to work 10 times harder than my white counterparts. And if you're an artist, especially a Black artist, you know that this happens. This is the thing. A lot of the times, as a Black person, it's really frustrating because I feel like our history is completely erased. A lot of things are taken out. And I say this as well, guys, as a Black person, every single day I am still trying to educate myself on my own history. A lot of us are robbed from, you know, in school we're taught a very watered down version, or we're just taught basically blatant lies, or they leave out details. And so the older I've gotten, the more research I've done on my history in terms of civil rights movements, in terms of music, dancing, acting, the entertainment industry. The reason why I think too, Black people, we get very protective over our own creations, over our music. And sometimes people say we're too sensitive over our hairstyles, right? Cultural appropriation is a big topic, especially in the Black community. And a lot of people don't understand because they think we're being greedy. They think that we're being sensitive, which we honestly have every right to be sensitive because everything that we've had has literally been taken from us. But we're so persistent that we just keep on coming up with new shit and making it hot, period. So the thing is, though, is the reason why we get so adamant is because we recognize that our culture is appreciated, but we are not. When police brutality happens every single day, when things like that happen to us, we notice that a lot of the same people who fight to say the N-word, who fight, who are doing the dances, who are listening to the music, right, are nowhere to be found or do not care or find a rebuttal to our cries, our frustration, our hurt. So it almost feels like people take, or participate, which it's fine to participate. But when things like this happen, when Black people, Black men, Black women, Black trans people, Black queer people are being killed in the streets, and a lot of the same people, again, who are fighting to say the N-word and to are on TikTok doing the dances while simultaneously on TikTok participating in racist TikTok trends. But some of those same people are the ones who are very mute when it comes to our issues or do not care. And that is where I think the protectiveness comes from. I don't know if you've noticed this, but several influencers who have been called out for cultural appropriation, acting as stereotypes, right, mimicking or mocking the culture. A lot of those influencers who fight back and at the Black community say we're too sensitive, why y'all care, y'all just mad, whatever. A lot of those influencers were ghost silent, okay? Ghost silent when George Floyd was killed. It took them 3 to 5 business days to post, to spread information on their platform. To me, I wasn't surprised by some of those people, but that's where the frustration comes from. It's like a week ago, you were literally fighting to wear braids, and you're like, I don't care, there's no significance. I want to do this, I want to do that. But then when we have an 8-9 minute clip of somebody literally being murdered, y'all are the same people that are silent who needed to gather more information before they spoke on the topic. Or those are the same people who posted the Black Solidarity Squares, which I didn't have a problem with it, especially for people who are really allies, but it also could have been very performative. A lot of influencers could do that to try to align themselves When in reality, we know we've caught y'all on tape saying the N-word. When in reality, we know y'all saying messed up crap about black people. We know y'all have had some messed up tweets, right? But all of a sudden, because BLM is a trend right now for a lot of people, even though that is my life, that is black people's lives. And I think where there's a misunderstanding and there's an erasure, right, of acknowledging, in specifics, black culture, it's hurtful and it's problematic. And that is where my frustration has come from on this topic. It's a part of a bigger system, which is racist. Overall system of kind of black people being pushed out of spaces that we created ourselves. It's a system. And I know a lot of people aren't fully aware of it, but I'm asking you to please look around you. See how many, and Kaylani said a great message, and I will put it, or I will probably cut to it right now.
The non-black choreographers that teach to black music, that teach black-made, black-originated dance moves and these dance crazes. Where's all the white TikTokers that steal the black dances from young black girls making fucking TikToks in their backyard? Like, the least you could do in this time is share something, post something, check yourself. Check yourself.
We contribute to the music industry heavily. They take kids from out the hood, black kids from all over the place. The CEO executives make tons of profits off of black people, but don't care about black lives. You see it across the board that we create, we contribute, and we have no problem with people partaking, but it's when it's stolen or it is not given proper credit. I mean, think about it. How would you feel if you created something, right? A dance. Take race out of it. Just you as a person. Imagine if you created something, you spent so much time on it, blood, sweat, tears, right? And somebody one day just decided, you know what? I'm going to put my name on your back. I'm not even on your back. I'm going to put my name on it, take it from you, and say it's my own. And then I'm going to go on the Jimmy Fallon show, the Ellen DeGeneres show. I'm going to go on the news, and everybody's going to know me as the person who created this. Because back in the day, guys, like Elvis Presley, white artists did that blatantly. How do you think that would make you feel as an individual? Not good. That's like if you do a project at school, you do all the work, like all the work, and somebody in your group who didn't do shit takes credit. You're like, but what the heck? They have no proof to show for it, so oh well, right? If you are someone who is an ally or encouraged, how about I encourage you to acknowledge the parts of black culture that you participate and partake in. And do the research. Guys, as a black person, I'm still doing my research because, honey, I wasn't even taught on my history. It's sad. Most black people, we were taught we were slaves. And that was about it. So, and a little bit more, but a lot of things are left out. So as well as a black person, I'm educating myself. And if I'm talking to any other black people, and I know I am, I encourage you as well to do research on your own history, but especially allies, especially people who are not black. I encourage you to do your research. Music, dance, look at the origins, like understand this is what I'm listening to, this is where it comes from, and I respect it. Because I'm sorry, you can't pick and choose when you want to be down. They say the quote, everybody wants to be black until it's time to be black. So for those of us who are black in times like this, honestly, like seeing what's going on the news is traumatizing. And I will say it firsthand. The fact that, you know, we even have to record murders to have proof, and for these cops still to not go to jail, that's the only way that we can wake people up. It's sad. And it's pretty traumatic. I'm not attacking anybody. I understand a lot of things are ignorance. The American education system has failed us in many ways. But yeah, I just wanted to come to you guys, and if you want to say something in the comments where you don't understand what I'm trying to say or you feel attacked, I tried to be nice. I really did, because I honestly have every right to be angry. I just wanted to create a conversation and come to you guys and talk about something that I'm passionate about. Sometimes when you talk about topics like this, it can come off like real bitter, and I'm not really bitter. I'm just upset. A lot of the things happening in the world right now are just a shame. I will be leaving links down below for multiple petitions to sign. We need to get Breonna Taylor's murderers in custody, arrested, and we need to keep fighting. So I will link a bunch of resources down below for Black Lives Matter. I appreciate all of you guys for watching, and for those of you guys who are genuinely open to understanding, and if you posted one of those black squares in solidarity, please right now just listen to Black people. Just listen. Don't get angry. Don't try to think of rebuttals. Just listen, because a lot of us just want to be heard. I'm just passionate. That's all. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.